Spot the difference. Okay, there might be a few differences, but I reckon we might just have another 30-goal a season striker on our hands here. Hello and welcome to Season 11, Episode 2 of Non-League to Legend. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode we have two league games, away against Watford and at home against Man United. But before we get into that, what an exciting climax to the transfer window we've had. As you've seen, we have our new striker in to replace Aaron. As you can see as well, he's already our top goal scorer with 4 goals for us already. Modu Fall. 23 years old. He's come in from Spurs. We did pay £28 million for him, as you saw in the last episode. But I think he's going to be worth every penny. 23 years old. He's already made his England debut since he's signed for us. He's scored a hat-trick for us in the League Cup, and he's got one goal in 2 games in the league. I mean, he's not exactly hit lightning form for us yet either. I'm going to get that comparison back up on the screen. There you go, look. Comparison between him and Arendt. When he actually signed, they were both the same age. Neither of them had a cap for their country. Both the same height, both the same weight. Roughly the same sort of value. I mean, we sold Arendt for 28 million and bought Fall for 28 million as well. He's on a quarter of the wages of Arendt. They're both on 5-year contracts. But this is where it's important. And I know there are some big differences between the two. Arendt hits a much better free kick, but Fall's much better at the long shot. Arendt's more of a leader, but, you know, Fall's better with anticipation, better off the ball, concentration, bravery, composure. I would say they're more valuable for a striker. He's got better natural fitness. Hopefully he's not to spend as much time as Arendt did injured. Arendt had 4 injuries in his year at the club. Kept him out for a total of nearly 2 months during his 12 months with us. But really importantly, Fall is just as quick. His acceleration is good, slightly slower, but he's stronger. Just as agile, same jumping, pretty much the same in the air, same at finishing. I think we might have a player on our hands here, and I'm suddenly not so negative about the fact that we've had to let Arendt go. That wasn't the end of the business though. It was quite an exciting deadline day. Firstly, we had a bit of an issue with Zabala. Is it Zabala or I can never remember what his stupid name is. There you go, Carlos Zabala. Decided after the Premier League transfer window closed at 6 o'clock, I guess the French transfer window was open until midnight, because at about 7 o'clock, so after our transfer window had closed, Paris Saint-Germain came in with a £20 million offer for him. I declined it because obviously we can't sell our top defender after the transfer window's closed and leave us without a centre-back. He went nuts. Put in a transfer request, had a little moan, just went absolutely mental at me. And then at about 11 o'clock, Paris Saint-Germain came back in and met his minimum fee release clause, £25 million. At which point, panic set in. We were going to be a centre-back down. Zaman was going to be having to play. But then, they didn't get the paperwork done in time. Midnight passed, paperwork not done. All of a sudden, Zabala's staying at the club. Luckily, we've then had the 2-week international break. And he's actually come back to me, tail between his legs, a couple of days ago. I don't think Paris Saint-Germain want me anymore. Can I stay, please? And he's not actually signed it yet, but he has agreed terms on a new 5-year contract, which doesn't have a minimum fee release clause in. So, a really weird 2 weeks, but we've now got an Argentinian international centre-back potentially committed to us for the next 5 years. He's played 4 games for Argentina already this season, so definitely one for the future. Still only 23. Very glad to have him tied down for a long-term deal. Hopefully, as long as no one comes in and spoils it in the couple of days until he signs. There was yet more transfer business as well, because we brought in another striker, Wilfried Thomas, 25-year-old French striker, can play as a poacher or a complete forward, so ideal for us. Again, he's our kind of striker. He's quick, he's good in the air, he's a good finisher. Really importantly, he was cheap. He had a £7.5 million minimum fee release clause, so he came in, met it. He's already worth £12 million nearly for us, so it's a good deal. He comes in, I mean, to be honest, he's coming in as sort of 3rd, 4th choice striker, fighting it out with Thierry Ambrose for that position as first man off the bench. But certainly a big improvement on either Keziah Sterling or Henry Smith. Obviously Sterling's gone. And Smith has gone too as well. He was the last deal of the transfer window. We've sold him for £1.9 million to Sheffield Wednesday. I realise we've given them a complete bargain there with Henry Smith. But he came to me a couple of days before the window closed and said, look, are you going to play me or can I leave? And I looked at the fact that we'd just spent £28 million on full. Smith just wasn't going to get regular games for us. So I'm nothing if not a nice man. So decided to let him go. We've made a slight profit on him. I imagine he's going to go and get an absolute hatful of goals for Sheffield Wednesday in the Championship. He's far too good to be playing in that league. And he'll be back in the Premier League, probably playing up front for England with Full in a year or two's time. But ultimately, after all the comings and goings, I actually think we've ended up quite a good transfer window. We've somehow managed to spend £83 million again. Brought in £35 million. Obviously, the bulk of that was from Arendt, who I don't think has played for Bayern yet. Let's have a look. He's probably still injured. Oh no, he has played for them, and didn't do very well. Serves him right. Whereas our guy's already scoring goals. So I think we win that one. Before we get into in fact, in amongst all the excitement, I might not have mentioned this. 4 wins in 4 games. We're 4th in the league. We're playing well. And today we play away against Watford, who are rock bottom of the league. And have not won a game yet. So we could make it 5-5, which would be a ridiculous start, especially considering how panicky the transfer window was at various points. When we first lost Aaron, when it looked like we were losing Zabala as well. To be in this position with the squad that we've got now, that's quite a good turnaround, I think. And to celebrate all that, I've signed a new contract with Ipswich as well. They've offered me a new 3-year deal at £28,000 a week, so that's £1.5 million a year. I think it's safe to say the mansion that I moved into when I first joined Ipswich is well and truly paid off. So I'm not going to move house. Let's not get carried away. I'm not staying here for the rest of my career. Just stockpiling cash now, so when Barcelona or Man United come calling, I can just up sticks, move, maybe rent the mansion out to whoever takes over from me. Before we get into the match, a couple of people have asked to have a look to see how my old clubs have been getting on, so we'll just have a quick look at them as well. I haven't actually looked at this, so I have no idea. Last time I looked, they were all in the same division as each other. So, we'll start with Boston. There you go. Boston are back down in the Conference North. Second in the Conference North. Yeah, they were. They did spend, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seasons in the Conference National, but they are back down where they were when I left. You can see my little blip back there when I got them promoted and then relegated again. They came straight back up after a couple of years. Had a nice long run in the Conference National, but they're back down in the Conference North. Are any of my players still at the club? I mean, it's 8 seasons since I left now, so chances of me knowing any of these lads are fairly slim. I'm not recognising any names on there. Nick Orford. And Junior Moraes. There you go. I signed both of those. They're the only 2 who are left, though. Junior Moraes I had on the transfer list when we were in the Conference National. His value is 0, even though he is contracted to Boston. I mean, that's why I had him on the transfer list. How has he played for Boston for 10 years? And he had a good season. A couple of good seasons. Don't get it. So that was Boston. Then I went to York. So let's have a look to see where York are. Wow. York are up into League One. They are flying. Sylvania Banks-Blake is the manager. Kieran Farrell, I signed him. He's their captain now. So where was I? This was where I was manager, wasn't it? When we got promoted. Did we get promoted with York? I don't think we did. I think I had a couple of disappointing seasons. Or was that me? I can't even remember. Did I get York promoted? Let me know in the comments. I can't remember. But they've gone from strength to strength since I left. Now flying high in the heady heights of the Football League 2. There must be a few more of my players that I remember here. Who else did we sign? I mean, that was Farrell. I signed him as a reserve left back. He's now got 8 caps for Ireland. Central midfielder and captain. There you go. I can pick a player. I think that's about it, isn't it? No more of my players there, I don't think. No, so just the one has survived at York. I need to know if I got them promoted. I genuinely can't remember. When was I manager? No, that wasn't me. I was at Exeter by then, wasn't I? I think. Well, there you go. And let's move on to Exeter. See how Exeter are getting on. they're down at the bottom of League Two. I think, yeah, they did get relegated. So this was me getting them promoted up into League One. They did come straight back down that season. Only survived 2 more seasons in League Two before getting relegated again. It looks like they've just gone back up, but are struggling, very much struggling. There should be some of my players still knocking around here, though. Let's have a look. Remy Street, I signed him. He's now the captain. Been there a long time, so I remember him being quite a good signing at the time. Is he the only survivor, though? I mean, it's been 5 or 6 years now. I think that might be it for them as well. Well, there you go. Each of my old clubs. Mixed fortunes. They've all only got 1 player left that I signed. But York, the one I didn't really enjoy, the one I didn't really have much success with, doing better than any of them. Well, there you go then. Right, let's get into today's game against... who are we playing? Watford. So this is our team to play Watford. As you can see, we've got the new guy, Modu Fall. I need to know how to say his first name. He's going to start up front alongside Lacio with Vaughan behind him. Then we've got Fritzer, Chris and Yusuf in midfield. And a back four of Walker, Peters, Zabala, Dane and Lazarov with Ben Garrett behind them. Garrett, I think, is probably the weak link in the side now, which shows how far we've come. That actually looks like a really good side now. Curious losing today. But I'm pretty happy with the look of this team. Wilfred Thomas gets his squad number. He takes over the number 10 from Henry Smith. He signed after we played our last game, so we've not had a look at him yet. So we'll get to have a first look at him today, assuming he gets the opportunity to come on. I mean, Thierry Ambrose has done nothing wrong this season. He's going to feel pretty hard done by, especially if he's not first off the bench today, because he's scored in every game he's played so far this season, including the ones where he's come off the bench. He's in amazing form. But I just don't see who I play him ahead of. Lacio is our Brazilian wonder kid who's having a great season so far. We've just spent £28 million on Fall. Oh, Jack Baldwin, posh player, scored against me. That doesn't really work for me. Watford at the bottom of the league. We always knew this is how today was going to turn out. Whenever I get really excited and positive at the start of an episode, this happens. And we'll now lose against Watford, lose against Man United. I imagine Fall will get injured and it'll just all start to go wrong from here. It was nice while it lasted. I mean, Jack Baldwin's a centre-back and he's had far too much time. I would say he's placed his shot, but he hasn't. He's hit it straight at Garrett, who's just sort of palmed it into the back of the net. Like I said, weak link. Priority for the January transfer window, if we've got any money, sign a goalkeeper. How many times have I said that on this save? Fall does really well there, forces a save out their keeper, and Lacio really should have done better with a follow-up. Fritzer with the corner, comes back out to him. Can he cross back in again? He finds Vaughan, who drills it in. Lacio again with the follow-up. Again, probably could have done a little bit better with it. We've dropped down to 5th now. I mean, a win today puts us joint top of the league with Chelsea and Man United. That is nuts if that was able to happen 5 games in, especially when we're playing United next in good form. Fall beats 2 men, finds Vaughan, and Vaughan just thumps it into the top corner. I say top corner, I have no idea. We'll have to check when it's in 3D. But, I mean, look at this play from Fall. This is why he's worth £28 million. I say that. It's just flicked off the back of their heel. Vaughan did put it in the top corner, though. So I got part of my commentary was right. Right, we're back level with Watford. Now we need to go on and win this match. So hopefully this is going to be our highlight again. Fritzer finds Walker Peters. Cross comes in. Fall hits the crossbar. It's back out to Chris. Chris is having a slightly better season this season. He's still only got basic English, but starting to look a little bit more like the player I was hoping he would be. Now he's in his 2nd season with us. I think he's probably going to stick around. Just because, looking about the place, I don't see that there's a better option. It would be nice to go into the lead before half-time. We've had the only clear-cut chance of the game. I guess that was the one that fell to Lacio. So I don't think the one we scored was a clear-cut chance. Yeah, let's take the ball off of Watford now. Ball over the top. Zabala doesn't really deal with it at all. Perhaps he's leaving after all. Perhaps this was all a ploy. He's just pretending he wants to stay. And, I mean, really. £25 million Paris Saint-Germain we're going to pay for him. He's going to be a star of the Champions League. And he does stuff like that. Oh, it's frustrating. This is the problem with having a young team. They're going to be inconsistent. But Fall is, fair to say, he's oozing with confidence at the moment, trying a shot from there. Probably need to have a word with him and tell him not to. But Vaughan is through again. Vaughan is loving being the captain, by the way. He's playing out of his skin this season. Right. Yeah, we need to go and win this match in the second half, lads. Remember, Watford are bottom of the league, and we are on a 100% record going into this. We need to sort ourselves out. It's not happening, is it? It's time for Thierry Ambrose soon, I think. Or maybe the new guy, whose name I can't remember. Right, Lazaroff finds Vaughan. He comes out to Yusuf. Yusuf finds Lacio. Lacio's being very negative there. Could have turned or tried to slip in a play. And we're another ball over the top. And they've done us again. And Zabala's going to get himself sent off. He's given away a penalty. He's managed to not get sent off. How? I don't know. Because that was a tackle from behind in the penalty area when they're through on goal. And we're 3-1 down against the worst team in the league. Why do I ever get positive at the start of episodes? It just... I need to start... I might re-record the intro, just be miserable, so that we've got a chance against Man United. Right, Chris, can we get back into this quickly? If anything, it looks like Watford are going to go and score again. What was I saying? I've just finished saying that we look like a good Premier League side now. And now we can't even beat Watford. Lacio's through. It's 3-2. It's not over yet. Lacio's had a haircut, I think. He's looking very swish with his shave around the side. I might have that cut. I'm having a haircut this week. I think I've mentioned it before. Might go for the bald on the sides, short and a bit odd on top. Walk into the barber's. Can I have a Lacio, please? See what he says. Probably tell me, yeah, you're saying that wrong. It's Lacio. Or whatever it's supposed to be. Someone has told me in the comments, and I don't get it. I'm not going to be able to say it. Right. At what point do I bring Thierry Ambrose on? Or New Boy? Oh, do not score again. You are bottom of the league. We cannot be conceding 4 goals against the team who are bottom of the league. We've got a defence signed from Real Madrid. Arsenal tried to sign him. Paris Saint-Germain tried to sign him. Signed from Man United. How are we going to concede 4 goals against Watford? I do not understand. Right, Fall can come off. Ambrose can come on. Despite me saying Chris is doing all right now, he's having a terrible game. He can come off and Cool can come on. Which means either Martin or Thomas are going to miss out. That's £30 million for a player there who are not even going to get onto the pitch when we're losing. I've got a wealth of talent. Or I don't know what I'm doing. And I'm spending money on players we didn't need. Right, Vaughan is through. Can we get an equaliser? Lacio pulls it back to 3-3. We could get something out of this game yet. We've got 15 minutes to go and find a winner. And I need to decide which one of those two. I mean, really, I can't take Lacio off now. He's got 2 goals. Which means Newman, who's... I'm never going to learn his name. What is his name? He's not going to get a game today. What is his name? Thomas. There we go. Martin might come on in a minute. Although Johnny Vaughan's having a cracking game as well. So I haven't really got anyone to take off to bring either of them on. But we need something going forward. So I might take off one of the midfielders, drop Johnny Vaughan back into the midfield 3, and bring Martin on to play behind the front 2. Zabala is asking for trouble again there with that little pass. Lacio does really well there to win the header though. And he's through again. Is it 4? No, it's not. Time for that substitution I was talking about. So we're going to take off Fritcher, bring on David Martin. This is a very attacking substitution. It could go desperately wrong. We're going to do that. I mean, Martin's looked useful in the little cameo appearances he's played. I think he's got a goal for us already as well. Come on, lads. We can go and win this. We've come back from a shockingly poor position. We've got the chance to go and win this game now. Do not throw it away. I know I've taken off any midfield protection that we had, but that's still no reason to let that happen. Ben Garrett, you are playing for your Ipswich career. You want to stay in the England squad? Stop being useless for us, or I'll put Sotras back in goal. He doesn't let us down. He's just not very good at stopping the ball going in the net. I mean, I guess 3-3 away from home. An away draw is never a bad result, is it? Let's go and play Man United. So, Man United at home. Fritcher's injured for a couple of weeks, so Aaron Cool comes in to play the box-to-box midfielder role. Other than that, we are unchanged. Zabala signed his new contract, 5-year deal. Lots of money now, nearly £50,000 a week, but no minimum fee release clause. So if Paris Saint-Germain come back for him, they're going to need to give me 50 million quid. Because it's going to be a pain in the backside to sign up. I say that, we've got Pascal Leader. He's not even played a game for us this season. He could probably be perfectly good coming in and deputising. He's still not played a game since he had his slip disc, which is a bit unfair on him, really, because he was having a pretty good season as a centre-back for us until he got injured. But who do I drop? Oh, what, the guy who doesn't want to play it, or the guy who ruined the FA Cup last season? Yes, I suppose I could drop either of them, but they're playing all right at the moment. Apart from last game when Zabala really was rubbish and basically gave Watford. I'm tempted to just swap him, but I'll leave it for now. Right, Man United then. We're actually above them in the league. I think it's the first time we've ever played them and we've been above them in the league. They're playing the Diamond, which is interesting, because I don't know if they're doing that because they normally do it, or if they're doing it because it's probably quite a good way to counter our system. Guess we'll see how we get on. There's only Man City and Chelsea above us in the league at the moment. I mean, it's getting a bit silly at this point. We've not lost in our first 5 games. I know we'll probably lose today, but this is the best chance we've had to really put a proper European push on. And Fall did the offside, but nice finish. I was going to say he got into a good position, but he didn't really because he was offside. But it was a nice, neat finish. I'd like you to see him get a couple of goals today because he has looked very good in those couple of games that he played before you were with me. But I want to prove to you that he's going to be as good as Arendt. And remember, even Arendt took a few games to get up to speed with us. So I'm still confident he'll score a lot of goals. I still remember the comparison thing from the start of the episode. It'll all be fine. We'll compare their goals at the end of the season. See who scored the most. Bearing in mind he's playing for a better team than us, so he should score more, but I bet he doesn't. Right. Certainly nothing to be ashamed of 20 minutes in, apart from the fact we've not had a shot, I guess, but fairly even for possession against Man United. I can live with that. It would be nice if we had a shot at some point, because we've got £70 million of front three, which I don't even know if they've spent that much on their front three. But Vaughan, Larsio and Fall, lots of money spent there. But 2 of them are English. I like the fact that almost by stealth we're building a team of young English players. Got Will Leach knocking around the place as well. We've got the future of English football. It's coming out of Ipswich Town. I might try and re-sign Andre Dazelle. That might be a job for the next transfer window. Because he's probably still only 24, 25 at this point. So, might be worth a look. Right, 0-0 at half-time. I mean, to be fair, I could live with it finishing like this. It would be nice to beat them, but they're Man United. We're not supposed to beat them. The board are still only looking for a mid-table finish this season, so we don't need to be going out and beating Man United. But it would be nice to get at least one win in this episode. Johnny Vaughan's having a terrible game against his old club. I didn't look to see how Walker Peters was doing, but obviously both of them playing against their former side. Obviously glad they've moved on to bigger and better things at Ipswich. Excited that the Alf Ramsey Arena opens in less than 12 months now. Looking forward to being a part of that, I'm sure. But Johnny Vaughan, not having the best of games. I think we'll take him off in a minute and bring David Martin on to play behind the front two. Good save from Garrett there. He's remembered he's supposed to be playing well, so he can stay in the team. Alright. Martin comes on for Vaughan then. And I guess, do we bring on Thierry Ambrose or do we have a look at Thomas? I can't not bring Thierry Ambrose on. This might be a problem. I suppose it's okay in that we've only spent £7.5 million on Thomas. But I just love Thierry Ambrose too much. Right, let's go and nick a goal now. And there is that man Ambrose. It's through to Martin. What can Martin do with it? He beats 2 players, does really well. Shame he couldn't do just a little bit better with the shot. We have looked competitive against Man United, and that is really encouraging. Right, Larsio is shattered. He can come off. Which way round do these two play? They play that way round, definitely. Right, Ambrose and Thomas. It's our first look at Thomas. He's only got 10 minutes. could he emerge in this match as the real replacement for Arendt? The way to do that is to get 4 goals. I think that's what Arendt did against Liverpool in a live com when he announced himself as our new superstar about this stage of last season. To be fair, he had more than 10 minutes to do it. But, you know, Thomas could go and get a winner, make himself a hero. Garrett should have done so much better with that cross. That's really disappointing this late in the game to lose our unbeaten record to what is basically a League One goal. Look at that. Why has Garrett not gone for that? He sort of came for it, stopped, didn't really know where he was, left himself completely in no man's land, and that was just terrible goalkeeping. He's kept us in it a couple of times today with some good saves, but I always need a scapegoat, and it looks like a previous year's saviour is becoming this season's scapegoat, because really, if we'd have had a better goalkeeper, we'd have beaten Watford and drawn this match. And that's what it comes down to. Stupid goalkeepers. 1 point out of 2 games. After all that build-up, what a load of rubbish. We're still 3rd in the league, though, so I can live with that. 5 points behind City now, aren't we? That's the title gone. Right, if you've enjoyed that episode, make sure you pop a like on there for me. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on tomorrow's episode. And thank you very much for watching.